Take two, everybody. Welcome to the Evil Ewok podcast, where we will be watching two Bad Batch episodes tonight. And you have two hosts tonight because Alex is still one with the Force. I already said this once before. You guys just didn't get to hear it, but we're here. Technical difficulties have been surpassed. We apologize. And I'll ask you this again, but how are you doing tonight, Kat?
I'm certainly awake now after round 2 of that intro. I thought 1 was enough, but nope, 2. 2 is the sweet spot. So,
Always two there are. Okay, are we still live? That's
yeah, sweet
that's the
lord.
question. Oh man, I'm gonna
Charlie's
keep it
still here.
up on YouTube so that I can see. Yeah, it looks like we're still live. That
Phew.
was so weird. So I went live for 4 seconds and then it just ended. So apologies again for that, folks.
I think
Um,
Opus was like, their intro is just so good. It needs its own standalone stream. Like, maybe that's what
right.
happened.
I'm gonna go with that over technical difficulties because that makes me feel good. But yeah, we've got 2 episodes tonight, and that usually means big stuff is about to go down. So I know that you don't like to make predictions because it like curses us, but I genuinely would be surprised if it were anything but important episodes tonight. So that being said, let's hear some predictions. What do you think's gonna happen, or like just one thing that'll happen in tonight's episodes?
Ooh. I think it's safe to say we'll see Crosshair again. I hope, whether that be in both episodes or even just one. Whether his path will cross with the Bad Batches, I'm not sure. And now here's my question to ask you, because dare I say it, but is it too naive to wonder if one of these episodes will feature the Chancellor Palpatine cameo?
It's possible. I think my prediction was it would either be these two or the last two. So
Yeah.
I guess there's a 50% chance by that logic. But what's
Do you
up,
really think
Alice?
they would show content though from like the final 2 episodes, which is in like the trailers, which
I
is like,
don't. That's a good point.
I
That is
feel
a
like when it
good
comes to
point.
Star Wars, everything in the latter half of like the seasons is usually, well, I guess like Clone Wars trailer is an exception. The final season, that trailer had literally footage from right up to like the very last episode. So
Yeah.
maybe it's different. I'm just so accustomed to the Mandalorian trailers, which it's like, oh, okay, first 3 episodes have gone by and we saw literally every trailer shot. So
Yeah, it's I think the Clone Wars is the only example of that because I think remembering back to like Rebels when Darth Vader was gonna fight Ahsoka, I don't think they showed that until like the mid-season trailer. I don't think they showed it in the initial one, but they don't do mid-season trailers for the Bad Batch, so who knows? But I since you said that, I think it's moved the meter a little more for me. I think it's like a 60% chance that we see Palps tonight.
yeah, I
But
hope so.
what do you think the context would be? Like what like gets us there? That's what I'm really curious about.
Right? Especially coming off of like where we're coming from. It's like I don't even know what to predict because we ended, I'm assuming they're starting this, I'm assuming this is going to be a 2 episode arc. Fingers crossed. So I, with that assumption, I'm then assuming again that they're starting it with a clean slate and it's not necessarily just going to pick right up from the events of last week on Kashyyyk, right? Like I don't,
Yeah,
I'm
I would
presuming
guess.
it's going to be total blank slate, new mission, new whatever, new objective. I just have no clue. Why would they be
Yeah,
showing Palpatine?
I don't know. And I think we're supposed to see Bail Organa too, right? It wasn't he in the trailer? So
Yeah, you're
I
right.
again, like I don't want to just rag on the Bad Batch, but they haven't really done a nice job of like providing an avenue for this to happen organically through the first 6 episodes. Like there's no logical pathway to get to that point right now, which is why the only reason I think it would be later on is because maybe they have to like pave that path. But I've had this crazy it's like it's insane, Kat. It is an insane idea. But I was like, what if Sid's like, I got a new mission for you. We're gonna infiltrate the Emperor's offices and we're gonna steal this doodad and we can make so much money off of it. And he's gonna be at a Senate meeting so so you can get in and get out before
I
he gets there.
swear. I know I say this maybe too much, but I might cease to exist if that were to happen. Here's the thing, though. You're right, because we're poised in a position right now where it's like I can't even make an informed prediction because, frankly, anything could happen. Which, at the same time, also I guess feeds into like chances. If anything could happen, then sure, why wouldn't we see Palpatine? Why wouldn't they go and into the Senate building and try to steal something? Like literally anything could happen at this point. What were the episode titles? Do they coincide?
We are
at
on
all?
the same wavelength. I actually just pulled it up. So
Sweet.
let's see. Let me zoom in. No.
Clone Conqueror?
That's not working. Can I just click on this? Yeah, there we go.
Clone Conspiracy.
Truth and Consequences. So that, I don't know, that reminds me of like the Fives episodes from Clone Wars a little bit.
You're right. All right, actually seeing those titles now, I think tonight's episode could be entirely on Crosshair, honestly, or at least an inside look of where he is and other clones around him dropping like flies / peacing out, going AWOL.
Yeah, I'm really hoping they bring them together, because it's been so long since we've seen them interact. And whoa, Zach, thank you so much for the donation and for being here. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
What's
Do we
up,
have the little
Jarn?
Ewok?
Oh, we don't. Alex has it. That's the best we can do.
There's our makeshift version. Yeah. Sorry, Zach, but thank you.
Until we get our assets in here. Oh gosh, if he gets to kill Sid, we'd all be very happy. Yes. Yes, but then she gets 200 points for sacrificing herself against a boss. I don't think they're gonna kill Sid because I think they're gonna do some like redemption arc where she's like learned not to be a piece of shit, and she's gonna be like, I see the power of friendship now. I need to stop using my friends like tools. And she, I think that's what they're gonna do with her.
Sid has an intervention.
Oh, Mandalorian Legion back with he's the one who always gives us intel before the good episodes. I've heard very high praise for this two-parter, especially from Corey Van Dyke, which said tonight's episodes are some of the best episodes of the series, on par with some of the Clone Wars episodes. I freaking hope so.
I'll hold you to that. Don't give me hope.
Don't do that. What's up, Nick? Welcome. It's hot in Australia today. Well, isn't it always hot in Australia? Like, especially in the outback, right?
I was going to say, what is your guys' winter, like 60 degrees? Coming from two Los Angeles people here, it's like same deal for us.
Oh, so I guess we already talked about the second topic, which was, will Sid meet her ultimate fate? I don't think so, sadly. What's your prediction, Kat? Do you think she dies?
Yeah, I don't think. Frankly, I don't even think, based on those titles,
she might not even be in it.
I don't even think she's going to have anything to do. Yeah, you're right. I don't think there's no way they would have just planted that seed in the second or fourth episode, rather. And then all of a sudden in this is 7 and 8, correct? All of a sudden, like, I don't think 2 episodes later, 3, whatever, I can't do math. I don't think they would plant the possibility of, oh, she might betray them, watch your backs, then not address it at all, and then jump to that crisis like only 3 episodes later. So I think you're right. It would maybe be a latter half of the season type arc for her, which I hope, especially since they're kicking into like high gear here, like I imagine they're going to establish some sort of overarching conflict, I would assume, with these episodes. If not, like I can... So I can see that being saved for a more consecutive, storyline down the line.
For sure. What's your thoughts on the Young Dooku book? Is it Dooku Jedi Lost? I have not read that yet, surprisingly. I've been like meaning to pick it up, but I have not read it actually. Do you like it, Zach? Sid will betray them, and they will probably have to rescue Sid because the Empire will betray her after she turns them in. Yeah, I could see that happening. I could totally see that happening.
No, Nicholas, don't speak this into existence.
It's too late. Yeah, I haven't read it either. I want to. We should read it together. I'll let
Oh
you know when I
god.
pick it up, and then you pick it up.
Have a book
S
club.
Saw Babylon today. It was a wild ride. It looked like a wild ride from the trailer.
Wild in a good way or bad way? Is it on streaming already or is it still in theaters?
I don't
No,
know.
wait, I'm so wrong. I keep getting Babylon and New Amsterdam mixed up. That's the other Margot
Oh,
Robbie
yeah, yeah,
movie,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
I
It came out a
keep
little while ago.
I'm like, two names of cities, right? Is Babylon a city? I don't know.
Babylon was yeah, in ancient
Okay.
times, yeah.
Yeah, so two city names with Margot Robbie, and wasn't Brad Pitt in New Amsterdam too? No,
I don't
I'm
know, that was,
getting them wrong. Christian Bale.
Christian Bale, yes.
Yes, but I keep getting those mixed up in my brain.
Dooku Jedi Lost and Master and Apprentice books are awesome. Dooku books. Yeah, I've read Master and Apprentice. I just have not read Dooku Jedi Lost. I'll take your word for it, Charlie. New Amsterdam was okay because of what's his name. New Amsterdam had a lot of actors in it that were pretty notable. I think Rami
Yeah,
Malek was in it too.
yeah. Taylor Swift, for a
Yeah,
little bit, right? She had a cameo. Oh my god, who
I
else?
think so. I just
They
remember
even
like the trailer had like 50 actors. It was like this person's in it, this person's in it, this person's in it. Um, what's his name? That really I'm so bad with names when I like need to remember names, but um, it's not Al Pacino. It's the other one that like old famous in
Martin
Taxi Driver.
Scorsese.
He works with Martin Scorsese.
Sweet Jesus.
I'm I
Not
don't know
Joe
why.
Pesci. Not Joe Pesci. Robert De
See, you're
Niro.
yes, De Niro. I don't know why I always forget De Niro's name, but I do, even though he's probably one of my favorite actors. I just can't remember his name ever.
Uh, it's like when someone's too familiar.
Kat, I'm trying to stay more positive about Star Wars now. You and Zach both know I'm a harsh critic for upholding George Lucas' status, but this new Star Wars just seems simple. To be fair, it is an animated show, and I have to check myself on this a lot too. But I think if it continues this way next season, I'll be really mad because that's when Rebels and Clone Wars really matured, I think,
Kicked it
is
into high gear.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not thrilled with the way it's going right now, but it's season 2. I'm giving them a little more time. But yeah, it's too simple right now, I think.
I was gonna say, does this new Star Wars encompass just Bad Batch, or are you speaking to like the current
Everything.
era that we've got in like Andor, Kenobi, etc.? I would agree that like I keep trying to keep it in perspective. Like if I had watched Clone Wars only on a weekly basis, waiting week after week for just one episode, I probably would have honestly felt similarly for some of those episodes. Like, you're kidding me, right? Like, not saying that's how I feel about Bad Batch. I don't finish the episodes saying, you're kidding, that was it. That came out wrong. But I probably would have felt similarly like, oh my god, I just like want to see the season in its fullness, like fully completed. So I'm not waiting 7 days between these episodes that are like fine. They're fun. It's it's entertainment. It's Star Wars. But I think I just have such pressure on it because we're waiting week after week. And then we only get 25 minutes versus like a big week like this. Like, I wish they would drop 2 episodes every week, like that's at least like something. But I try to keep it in perspective and be like, would I feel this way if Bad Batch was like 5 seasons long and I had the luxury of just watching all of it in its entirety all the way through?
Yeah, it's I'll say this. I definitely think are you kidding me? When they give us when I stay up until midnight and they give us a Sid takes the gang to the races episode. That's when I say, are you kidding me? But yeah,
Oh my god.
it's a kids show and it's not gonna be like Andor. It's not gonna be as complex as Andor, and it's not fair to compare those two. But I definitely think next season it will be fair to compare it to seasons 3 of Clone Wars and Rebels. I think it's absolutely fair because those two were animated kids shows and those two matured and got really super serious. I wish we got that Underground Star Wars Bounty Hunter game. I wish we got that. Oh yeah, what was it like? I remember hearing about that. It was like on Coruscant. It was one of the sub levels. It looked really cool.
What was this?
Yeah,
Is
it's
this like
called the
recent?
no, it was like, oh god, like 10 years ago, maybe a little
Oh,
less than
never
10
mind.
years ago.
Never mind.
Does anyone remember what it was called? It's like a level something something. It was like a number, like 7 something, but it looked really cool. Um, have you seen the test footage for George Lucas was trying to make like a Coruscant Underworld show back in the day, and they shot some test footage for it, but he ultimately scrapped it because he didn't think they could pull it off with the budget that they were given.
No!
Yeah,
OMG,
you should look that up
no!
too.
Oh my gosh, and cry that it never came to fruition.
Star Wars Theory not doing watch parties, so thanks for being live. He's not?
Interesting.
These are like
He's
the
been
episodes.
working. He actually, I don't blame him if he's taking a break because he edited that big. He had a big interview with the choreographer, I believe, from the prequels.
Oh, Nick Gillard or whatever.
Yes, and
That's
I
cool.
think he posted on Instagram that he had been editing till literally like 7 a.m. one night, so he might be tuckered out. I don't blame him if he's taking a night off.
He's pulling an Alex.
Yeah.
It was called 1313. Yes, that's it. 1313.
Oh, that's a fun name.
Nick Gillard. Yeah, 1313. Yeah, it seemed kind of like Uncharted-esque in the mechanics of it, but
Mm,
like Bounty Hunter Underworld. As a kid, when I watched the show weekly and one of the not so great arcs would start, I would always hope that the next episode preview would be a new arc, then see that it continues and be disappointed. Yeah, like
oh.
the 4 episode droid arc or whatever.
Oh, sweet lord. You make a good point though, and I think one of the best parts about Clone Wars and Rebels, and you're so right, they definitely both kicked it into high gear around similar seasons into the show. But I think one thing I want to see from the future of the Bad Batch, especially during this time period, and especially if we're going to be witnessing a clone uprising now, like those two shows, Clone Wars and Rebels, weren't afraid to like deviate from their core cast and show and develop other side characters like I want to see episodes where we start to develop Rampart like a little bit more,
Yeah.
like similar to the way that Callus was, like in Rebels. Like I, I feel like we still don't have a full like scope of who Rampart is versus like Callus became one of the best characters
Yeah.
of that entire series. So I hope that they I feel like they have yet to really do this with the Bad Batch and have episodes that kind of I guess they did that with the
Hera,
Syndulas, yeah,
but
a little
she
bit.
like she was already an established character though, in fairness.
Good
Um,
point, good point.
but I do agree with you, and I think a show becomes so much stronger when you take Kino Loy from Andor, for example. He's a side character that we're probably never gonna see again, and he was one of the best characters that entire show, and he definitely elevated the show for me. So I understand I'm not comparing Andor to the Bad Batch, but you could certainly do it with like I don't know if it'll be Rampart because they're definitely shaping Rampart up to be just like a pretty bad dude overall. But
A
if they
corrupt
can,
guy.
yeah, if they can find a villainous or like a blurred lines and morality character and develop them, I think it would do wonders for the show. Even just like developing Echo more or Tick,
Oh my
and
gosh, right?
yeah,
Yeah. I feel like they went and rescued Echo, and I feel like we still don't get a lot of what's his internal dialogue, like post rescue. How does he feel as like a outlier bonus member of the group and not someone who was originally like engineered with the rest of them, like not an OG. Like I don't feel like, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just not remembering. But I feel like they haven't really touched on that dynamic at all, or I feel like they're, placing they just kind of sprinkled like a little bit of stress on the group dynamic in the introductory episodes when
they
Echo
did.
does pull Hunter aside and he's like, "Listen, can we like actually do things?" And then everybody, takes like a group vote and votes against Hunter to go and do this mission or whatever. Like they planted us a few seeds. Like even if we just see some more dynamics within the group, like I'm not saying I want them to fight, but we haven't even really seen the group have a big rift or anything. I feel like.
Yeah, it's been frustrating because they definitely hinted at that, and then they just haven't done anything with it really since then. It's just been like, okay, we're back to regularly scheduled programming of doing missions for Sid. And it's frustrating. Let's catch up with some of these comments. I rewatched The Last Jedi yesterday. Cinematography in the film is peak. Yeah, the cinematography
Yeah.
is one of the best things about that movie, and that's mostly all. That's kind of where it ends for me in terms of what I like about that movie. Would you want to see CIS droids execute Order 99? Absolutely. What would that entail? Ventic Ocean? Elaborate. Yes, the old footage George Lucas Underworld was awesome, and I think that's where they got the idea for Kenobi and Mandalorian when they go to credit street scenes. Yeah, it definitely
Mm,
felt like that planet that Obi-Wan was on. What was it called?
Dayu.
Dayu, yeah. It
Yeah.
felt kind of like that. I've got to go. See you guys later. Enjoy the show. Alice,
Yes.
come on, don't leave us like this.
Love you. Peace out.
Uh, and Zach, thank you for another donation.
Oh,
You're
Zach.
awesome, man. We appreciate it. A white
Thank
unicorn with rainbow
you.
hair. I can see it on the YouTube chat, Cat. It is
Yeah.
indeed a unicorn with with rainbow hair, and it is very cool.
Nice. Aw, thank you, Zach.
One of the major problems with the Bad Batch is the side quests with -1 story production. Yeah, progression. The lack of progression is killing this season. We've covered this before. I even made a video about this. There's just no main story, and it's weird that they would not, like, they didn't use the premiere to establish the main story, and it was so weird. And didn't you say that you heard it was gonna, like, people were saying it was like it was way darker than season one or something?
Yeah. I could have sworn we were all talking. I think it was Alex who had mentioned that he read reviews or heard from people who had screened it early. Like, yeah, people are saying, prepare yourselves because this season is actually going to be really dark. And I would argue, like, yeah, we got a little maybe scratch the surface of that. Now, do I have to just keep myself in check? Like, is dark for the animated shows? Like, I hear dark and I think of the topics that we touched on in Andor, or even like Clone Wars season finale, which
Yeah.
is, yes, an animated show. It's in the realm made for kids, similarly to Bad Batch, which I don't like to just generalize and say, oh, I know it's a kids show. Like, it's for, I imagine, because then I feel like that negates the work that the whole production, the whole crew has to do in terms of gearing it towards the larger audience. Like, I guess that is a challenge, like taking an animated show and making it fun for the kids, but also the majority, I feel like the Star Wars fandom is like grown adults. Maybe, but
You can do
um
it. Pixar has been doing stuff like that for years, where they make like Toy Story is great for kids and adults because
true.
the kids aren't gonna pick up on a lot of the, like, deeper themes and, like, the
Yeah.
meaning. And but it's still, like, funny, and it's still like a kids movie that anybody can enjoy. And that's what the Bad Batch, I feel like, has been too kid oriented lately, and it's to the point where it's like too simple. Harkening back to what Nick was saying, it's too simple, and you can have complex themes that are going to go over the heads of kids, but and that's okay because, like, they just, most honestly, an 8-year-old isn't watching it for character development. The 8-year-old's watching it for, like, action sequences and lightsaber duels and shoot ups. So
True.
you provide those, and then you provide some, like, character moments and development, like the gold standard for animation, animated episodes, Twilight of the Apprentice. It had all the lightsaber duels you could want, but it had just emotional moments that cut you to the core, and it was perfection.
Yep. Hmm. So yeah, still waiting on that. I keep forgetting, like, oh, this season was supposed to be dark.
Dark.
Allegedly, is this series mid-series climax here going to be like a kind of changing turning point? Like, is there going to be a shift in the tides here? But I will say it definitely feels very strange going into this 2-episode mid-season event and having absolutely no idea what the heck is. I don't have a single inkling. I couldn't even tell you a prediction because it could go 50 different ways. Like, it could be anything. Like, it's so open-ended
Yeah.
right now, and it just feels interesting. Like, I don't even know where we are, like, in the story. Like, other than maybe leading to a conversion of converging
Maybe.
of Crosshair and the Bad Batch's paths. Like, what?
Are the Bad Batch gonna come into his crosshair?
Oh.
Is the Jango Fett game worth playing? The one before Attack of the Clones. I did not play it. I feel bad. This is the second question you asked that I can't really give you an answer. But I did not play it. The only like Attack of the Clones era games I played were KOTOR 1 and 2, and then like the original Battlefronts. I didn't get to play this game. I didn't get to play that Clone Squadron game. So sorry, Zach, can't give you an answer on that one. I've heard good things though. Let's be honest, even Clone Wars was not this kid oriented, but I think it's also because of Omega.
Actually, you're so right, Nicholas. I shared this video on my community post like a month ago, I think, to like pregame for the Bad Batch release. But have you seen it, Zach? It's literally titled "The Clone Wars is a kids show." It's either the Clone Wars is a kids show or it's not a kids show.
Right.
And it's literally just a compilation set to Electric Light Orchestra's Mr. Blue Sky of like every single lightsaber or just violent death in that show. And if you watch it back, it's like, this is horrific. This is so not for kids. But that's a good point.
How did they get away with it? I saw this this video today that was pretty funny. It was titled like basically every Bad Batch episode. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's like it's this dude just like it's like basically like a really low effort video. It's just like PNGs of each character, and it's like this dude just doing like impersonations of all the characters. And it's basically like Hunter doesn't want to do this thing because it's dangerous for Omega, and then the guy's just like just he's doing Omega's like accent and he's just exaggerating the hell out of it. And then like Crosshair shows up and he's like, I want to kill you all. And Wrecker's like, I want to smash some stuff. And then Tech's like, I'm only here to tell you the odds of this thing happening and why it's impossible. And then they're like, well, what do you think, Echo? And he's just like, he doesn't say anything.
Oh my god.
Because he doesn't talk in the first season, really.
OMG. I gotta go find this.
It's pretty funny. I'd recommend watching it.
I'm here to kill you all. Maybe that'll be this upcoming arc. Who knows?
Good.
Maybe he predicted the future.
Orders.
I like what Charlie's comment is there.
Cody gets killed by Crosshair now because of this dark talk. You know, I had this thought. I think it might have been like whoever said that watched the first episode, the first 2 episodes, saw Rampart just gun down that clone, and they're like, "Oh man, if this is a sign of what's to come, this is going to be a dark season." And not true.
2 episodes later, we're at a race on Tatooine.
Yeah.
That wasn't Tatooine, right? But it was similar.
It's Tatooine-esque.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they wanted to go to Tatooine, but they were like, no, we can't do that to them.
I think we've reached our threshold. Because they're like, we're going there in Mando. We can't. They already know. They've reached their Tatooine threshold for the year.
How many episodes are left? Were there 16 on the season? So if that's the case, then after tonight, we have 8 more. Do some Hogwarts Legacy streams. Does it come out tonight or tomorrow? When does it come out?
I think the pre-download started today. I literally don't. I have no idea. I'm only going off of what I've seen on Twitter, but people are sharing the gameplay stuff. I feel like I've seen pics and stuff online of some of the. I could be wrong. I have no idea. What even is it? Like, what console do you play on?
I think any of them.
Oh, okay. So it's like a cross-platform.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see. Like, I just want people to play it first, and then, like, is it good? Is it bad? And then I'll think about getting it. But I am interested. We'll just see if I like what people say. Rebels at the beginning were doing stuff similar to what the Bad Batch was doing, but with the Force and the Rebellion as a part of the story, was able to connect a wide range of other story pieces. Yeah, it felt like. Because the Rebels always had goals, like they were trying to serve the Rebellion. They were working towards something, and they were also being pursued by the Inquisitors constantly throughout the season.
True.
So it felt like they were just more involved in something bigger than just doing little side missions every now and then. The Bad Batch, it just they don't have any pressure being put on them right now. It's not like they're being actively searched for. And B,
Presumed
it's
dead.
exactly. And Rampart is like willing to kill his own men to cover that up. Like he's protecting them basically from being hunted down. I'm sure that's not going to remain that way, but and then B, it's just like the side quests aren't even like doing anything for them. It's just for Sid, so Sid can get more money. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Even with like the side quests or whatnot in Rebels, there was always the lingering threat of
Yeah.
the Empire and the Inquisitors. They could show up at like any point. And I feel like there were episodes where they randomly just did show up and like ruin the day. I can't quite remember, but there was always some sort of looming present danger. And you're so right. It's kind of been alleviated now for this season, or they at least are baiting us with, oh, look, Rampart is seemingly not interested in locating them, but wants to find, like, I would presume, maybe externally he's like, oh, this is kept under wraps, everything's fine, but internally he's like, we gotta freaking find them, like, this is such a liability for me and my
Yeah.
resume, like, so maybe the more, now that I'm talking about it, I could picture him maybe confiding in Crosshair and tasking him with, like, okay, listen, they're presumed dead, but I know they're alive. Go find them. Or does he genuinely believe that the other commander was mistaken when he was like, I saw the Bad Batch? Like, do you think he's so corrupt that he's just like, no, you didn't. Bye.
I don't know. It's just I don't know why they didn't have at the end of the Crosshair episode have Rampart go like, I have a special mission for you. Go hunt down the Bad Batch. Like they've been,
Right?
like they just popped up on Sereno. I know that they're alive, but officially they're not. But they're
So
gonna cause
keep it
problems for
quiet.
us. Exactly.
Yeah.
Why not do that? And then that way you have pressure on the Bad Batch now that we know that they're being actively searched for. So the
Yeah.
clock is ticking, and they didn't do that. And it's like there's no urgency. There's no nothing with this season, and I hope that changes tonight. I'm assuming it will.
It leads me to beg the question. Like, I always try to give them credit where it's due and assume like everything's for a reason. So the reason they never planted that seed, or if there's a reason they haven't, gone back to Crosshair since that episode, like, are they leading up to a big like surprise, like a big shock factor, like, oh my god, Crosshair showed up out of nowhere and he's here to get it? Like, is that what they're going towards versus like planting the seeds and working towards it? Like, do they want to take us by like surprise, like out of left field? Is he going to show up
I
at like the most wild time where it takes us out? Like,
I'd love that. I just want to be surprised because I feel like we've come on here every week and we've been like, oh, haha, what if this happens tonight? And then it happens, Kat. Like, that's how many times this season? I feel like it's been at least like 4 or 5 times this season that we've done that.
oh, it has happened. It has happened. I mean, you literally called it like verbatim episode race. So who
Yeah,
knows?
it's
Everyone's really thinking that Sid's gonna get the can this episode.
He's gonna kick the bucket. One thing they can do to shake the story is have the Empire invade Sid's bar and force the Bad Batch to be on the run.
Oh.
If they could kill Sid while they do that, that'd be great. They need to be kicked out of Sid's bar. Sid's bar was a mistake.
Oh god.
So to probably betray them or die. We're gonna get more Wanda Sykes. I'd rather have more Wanda Sykes than more Sid. If you put a gun to my head, that's my choice.
Did they introduce Wanda to, you think, like, warm us up to her in the transitional process of replacing Sid with her?
Sid. She's the cooler Sid. But not by much. Still don't enjoy her, but she's better than Sid. I don't know. I just don't think they're gonna kill Sid because I don't ever get what I want, and I'm used to that now. So
oh my god.
Yeah.
Zach just can't have nice things.
I can't have nice things. The last nice thing that I had was probably like the finale of Clone Wars. That was a nice thing that they
Oh,
did.
it was really, it was hard. It was me coming off of crying in fetal position and being absolutely crushed for like the ensuing week afterwards. That was a really nice thing. That was a nice thing that
Loved
they
it.
did.
I
Loved it.
remember just sitting there for like an hour after the episode ended and just like basically speechless. Like I didn't really I'm still like I can kind of remember like it's like I'm mimicking it now, but it's just like you just sit there and you're just like, holy crap. Like A, it's over. And B, like that was so emotional. Like the shot of Vader's reflection walking away from the clone helmet, like chef's kiss symbolism
Oh,
right there.
I'm always grappling. Like it absolutely crushed my soul, and it was like we've known this is coming. Now maybe it was from like the animated aspect that it never felt like it would really, Anakin's downfall would infringe upon the love that we associate like with the Clone Wars show. Like that was our safe space, but then they did that, and I felt the same way. I literally was just like, I can't believe all of this. All the Clone Wars, like I look back on that as like a huge like it's so many episodes, so many seasons. It's like that is so much time of watching just dedicated to the clones and
Yeah.
all their journeys and whatnot. To all of it boiled down to that. Even though we freaking knew it was coming, it still took me out. That's how I. That's why I was just like, I don't understand how I knew every part of my being knew that this was going to happen, and here I am still like sobbing uncontrollably. How?
It was incredible, and this is a quote from the video I was telling you about. Okay, Junta, staying out of trouble is my strategy. But I just wanted to say like what the Clone Wars accomplished is nothing short of amazing. Like I don't think it's ever been done before, where like a show fleshes out so many aspects of like these movies that didn't have time to. You didn't have time to develop the clones. You didn't have time to cover all these Jedi that were just kind of in the background of the movies. Like you didn't have time for any of that. But the Clone Wars took it, and over 7 seasons, they fleshed out so many characters, so many aspects that the movies just like barely touched on. And it's like essential viewing now. Like you can't watch the prequels and then just not watch the Clone Wars. Like you can't do it.
Mhm.
Like the Clone Wars is essential viewing. Um in some respects I think it is better than the prequels. Like in some respects. Like
Oh my
Anakin
god, totally. I agree.
Anakin, I love Hayden Christensen, but he didn't get the best material to work with in those movies. But Anakin from the Clone Wars is like incredible. Ahsoka, incredible. The clones, just immaculately done. I mean, like it's all across the board. Like bringing Maul back was a great decision. They're just full of incredible things that they did. And you're right. I remember watching the whole last 4 episodes, and like every freaking scene I was like, is this it? Like I think Maul even says it, like, is the time upon us? Or it's like you're just waiting for the shoe to drop. And it was, I don't think I've ever felt that much tension in a Star Wars anything ever. Like I was on the edge of my seat, my heart was pounding for like 4 episodes straight until it happened. um I genuinely think that those 4 episodes were like the best Star Wars I've seen since like Revenge of the Sith. Like it was incredible.
Oh, was it the very final episode where the title screen came on and they were playing, is it Anakin's Dark Deeds?
Yes.
Oh my god, that's when I knew. I was like, Dave Filoni, you will pay for my therapy bill. Like right from that moment, I was like, holy shiz, they're not messing around. Like, oh my god.
I know, and they had a. They even had like the intro. They had like the Lucasfilm logo, like the LT2, and it just felt like this is big. Like this is not just like 4 episodes of a show. Like
Right.
it was perfection. Like those 10 out of 10 all across the board. I was not let down at all. And didn't we have to wait like a week per? Was it like a week?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
I could be wrong because the episode's released on Wednesdays, correct? But I think they bumped up the
Was it?
season finale to air on like a Sunday or something.
I think so. I
I
just remember
can't
the wait was excruciating. Where I was like, "Oh my
right, yeah.
god."
To your point though, recounting like yeah, Clone Wars has some of the best world building and best arcs and some of my favorite most memorable episodes from that show are characters and planets and places and people that aren't the core three of Anakin, Obi-Wan, or Ahsoka. Like
Yeah.
other characters, not even necessarily Jedi, just other characters that are some of the highlights of that show. So I'm hoping, especially like this is a peak time in Star Wars to, yes, they're starting to do it with Gunji. I should say, like, last week's episode is starting to tap into what I want to see from this show, like exploring surviving Jedi or people on the run from the Empire, or please, 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 all I'm asking is don't plant the seeds of Cody or other clones going AWOL and then not follow up on it. I really
Yeah.
freaking pray that's not just like oh, he's gone.
He's out there somewhere. Wouldn't you like to know what he's up to?
Oh, I
But
would
Sid's got
like
another
to.
job for us, so we're gonna do that instead.
Oh,
What if tonight, Kat, it starts and it's like, I've got 2 jobs for you today, kids. And then she's like, you 3 are going to the Outer Rim to steal this doodad from this crime lord. And you 3 are going to the races again. And those are the 2 episodes we get.
If they, could you imagine they split up? It's double mission. No, 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 no. I don't
die.
think.
I would die. That surely can't happen.
All right. Is this episode not going to start in Sid's bar?
I think it will. But I don't. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I just like, where else is it going to start? You know,
You're right.
It's either there or they pick up from where they left off last week.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see.
Cinematic Star Wars universe like Marvel with individual hero arcs culminating in like Avengers would be awesome if they ever decide to make more films. I'm torn on this concept. I don't want Star Wars to be too much like Marvel because I think Marvel is too formulaic nowadays, and I would never want Star Wars to be super formulaic. I do enjoy it when it tries new things here and there, but at the same time, like I would like to see it focus on, like, tell stories that focuses on individual characters and then eventually have them meet at some point.
Yeah, I would also argue that the MCU is becoming everything is necessary viewing.
Yeah.
At this point, and to the point, not even that it's like a subtle, like, oh, this person showed up in this show, but you don't need to watch the show. It's like you need to watch the show, like, in order to understand pivotal plot points, like what happens to Wanda, but between Endgame and
exactly
Multiverse of Madness. Like if you don't watch WandaVision, it's like, oh my gosh. Similarly, how like I see what you're saying, yeah, like, and they definitely tried a new thing by incorporating, like, I would say that's different, like having those Mando episodes implanted within Book of Boba Fett. But at the same time, it's like that's a very MCU thing to do. Whereas now it's like you have to watch Book of Boba Fett in order to understand, oh, like Grogu came back, like
there's gonna be a sizable portion of audience who did not watch the Book of Boba Fett, and literally, like, I'm sure there's people out there they've seen nothing else in Star Wars. They only watched The Mandalorian, and they're gonna tune into season 3, and they're gonna be like, "Wait a minute, didn't they separate at the end of season 2? Like, what happened? Like, am I
didn't I cry my eyeballs out?"
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, no, you're right. I guess I forget because we're in such a, this is like we're in the microcosm of, we just talk and live, breathe, eat Star Wars. But
yeah,
so I just assume, oh, everybody watches all the shows. Like, how could you not? It's Star Wars. But you're so right. I forget very often that there are a lot of people, and I hate using the word like casual fans, but for lack of a better term to describe, I don't know, people who only watch, Mandalorian. It's like one of the biggest shows right now, but you're so right. Like, there's got to be a large portion of the audience that just watches Mandalorian, or maybe watches Mandalorian in the movies, like that doesn't have the time or energy or even desire to watch all the other outlying shows, not assuming that it's going to be it's become necessary viewing. If you want to understand, like, oh, there was a Mandalorian season 2.5 in Book of Boba Fett. Who's Boba Fett? Like, definitely.
Exactly. Like everybody knows what the Mandalorian is on some level. Like I could ask my mom, who I don't think she might have seen like a Star Wars movie, but she doesn't care about Star Wars. I could be like, Mom, do you know what the Mandalorian is? And she'd be like, is it the one with that baby like Yoda thing? And that's what like a lot of people would do. They at least know what Mandalorian is. If you were to say like, hey, do you watch the Book of Boba Fett? They'd be like, what is that? Like some boba making show or something? Like,
oh my god,
could you imagine? Know. So that's why like at the time I was like, I love that they gave us all these like characters in these 2 random episodes of the Book of Boba Fett that had nothing to do with Boba Fett. But in hindsight, what the hell was that? Like, why did you do that? Like, that's such a weird choice to just suddenly not have anything to do with the main character, the titular character, I might add, and then go on like this. It was strange. It was very strange.
Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I keep just gravitating towards it must have been the mechanism for reintroducing Grogu, because they have big plans for him in season 3, or the reveal of his, being saved, his rescue or whatnot. Like, I would like to assume that there's a higher reason versus they are just trying to explore similar, what would be the word for it? Similar techniques as the MCU when it comes to crossovers or whatnot, and other characters cameoing in other people's movies or shows, because that is a big trope in the MCU, correct? Like their paths all intertwine, and I feel like with Mando, Book of Boba, and Ahsoka, I do think there's going to. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there is some sort of big crossover event or something in one of those shows. I mean, there already freaking was in Book of Boba Fett, but like, I don't know.
I could see it depending on what happens with the Ahsoka series or show. I could definitely see another crossover event. I confess I've not seen any Star Wars. I'm just here because I love hearing you talk about Star Wars. Well, you're obviously joking, but that would be a great way to learn, is just to tune into our streams. Even if you've never seen Star Wars, you'll learn a lot about Star Wars. I don't think my parents will know what the Mandalorian is. Ask them, Jarn, and report back next time. It's your homework.
I bet they know who Baby Yoda is, though.
He's everywhere. It's like when Frozen came out, the movie Frozen. You couldn't go anywhere without seeing like a piece of Frozen merchandise. Couldn't go anywhere. And so I feel like it's the same way with Grogu. Like if there's like a piece of Star Wars merchandise at any store, like Grogu is probably what it is. It's probably Grogu. Is Sid dead yet? We will answer that question
TBD
in a little bit. We're gonna find out. But I appreciate the enthusiasm, Barbs. I applaud you.
Have the episodes dropped for you yet? It's like
that is a
6 minutes out, but I know they've been doing it later for Bad Batch.
They have. Let's see, the Bad Batch. Isn't there going to be a point where Mandalorian comes out and it overlaps with the Bad Batch on the same day?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I think you're right. That happened at one point with Tales of the Jedi and Andor, no? Or am I lying?
I think so. I don't know if it was the same day, but they definitely came out at the same time.
Times.
The legit joy on your face at the thought of Sid being dead. Yeah, I don't try to hide it. I genuinely want that lizard dead. I can't stand Sid. I think she's harmful to the show's quality. This is a selfless thing. I'm not being selfish here. Like, this isn't something that I want because it would make me feel good. I just want the Bad Batch to be good. And I think that Sid is a roadblock to that, Barbs. You have to understand, like, this is a selfless act that needs to be done.
I can't wait to see your reaction if and when that happens.
I'm gonna post a reaction video. I'm gonna pull a you, Kat.
Zach, yes, you should. You should, because it's like your what's the word for it? It's
This
your
is my
brand.
Super Bowl.
This
You
is
have
your
the
brand.
This is my Super Bowl. You have the Eagles. I have Sid potentially dying.
Oh, what a week. What a week it will be.
Can you imagine the Eagles win the Super Bowl and Sid dies?
Universe will be working in mysterious
Yeah.
ways. Oh,
Hype. It has not dropped for me yet.
dang, they're taking their time.
Yes, they are. Are you gonna go to bed again, or are you gonna stay up?
Probably.
All
I
right.
barely even made it to this stream. I am not gonna lie.
Well, I
Especially since it's
appreciate
gonna
it.
be a big mid-season finale. I kind of want to watch with a full tank of energy.
Definitely. All these Star Wars live action shows feel a bit more like mediocre CW shows.
Whoa, that is a bold statement.
I think the writing of some of them, absolutely. I do think the production quality is better, but Andor, I think, blows. Like, the CW is never sniffing anything close to the quality of Andor's writing.
Oh my gosh, Andor's like on HBO Max level.
For sure.
For real.
Absolutely. But Obi-Wan Kenobi had CW writing, and that kills me. Like, I absolutely, it kills me that it had CW writing, but it did.
I don't know.
It did. I think it did. I think the perfect way to say it is that it had some great moments, but I don't think the show itself earned those moments. The Clone Wars earned those moments. The prequels earned those moments. The show just like basically stood on the shoulders of those media and
Of the nostalgia.
Exactly. Like the show itself didn't like Reva wasn't amazing, and that would be like something the show could take credit for if she had been great, but she wasn't. The Grand Inquisitor didn't really do anything. Hell, even like
he gave us a great new meme.
He's yeah. I just think the show overall was disappointing, but it had some great moments that I'll never forget. It's very weird. Like the show's weird. It makes me feel weird things where I'm like, wow, that was a great moment, but don't really want to watch the show again. I'm waiting to see when it drops so that we can do the last emoji bomb send off.
Oh my god, yes.
But
dang, they're really taking their time.
Yeah, usually they've really been doing that for the Bad Batch this season.
They caught on. Who's in charge? Who presses the button? That's like, post it.
It's been me this whole time. What's up, Rapid? The Kenobi show is good and bad, but I'm kind of excited for the fan edit that's being made. Yeah, Pixel Joker is working on it. So is Alex. It's gonna be great. They're very talented people. So looking forward to it. But yeah, Alex or Rapid and T. I haven't seen you guys here before. Appreciate you for joining us. Is it up yet? So we can do the. No, it's still not. But I guess technically it's not midnight yet, Kat.
We got T-minus like 15. There we go. Come on.
I've lurked here for a few times. Well,
glad you finally spoke up in the chat. Yeah.
I like your image there
that is sweet. That is a sweet profile pic.
It'll be up right now. Let's see if they're right.
Nick says it's out.
Nick is correct. Ooh, I see Pantorans.
Oh.
I see Pantorans and I see Coruscant.
Oh, shnikes. Oh, sweet Lord, I wish it wasn't. Indeed.
All right, everybody, drop the emojis on us now. I'm going to refresh this thing.
Bombs.
Send all your emojis to us. Make it hail.
Make it rain. Make it rain.
Make it rain.
Should we go to the circles briefly?
We could go briefly to the circles, yeah.
TY, we need more than that. Spam those emojis.
Moss, yeah, throw all of them.
Everyone's gone watching the episode. We get one.
We should have done it sooner. That's on me.
Zach,
I'll
this
take
is so freaking sad. We're like, emoji bombs.
There we go.
Yes, there we
Thank
go.
you. Thank you, TY. You've saved us. We don't look like fools.
Oh my god, I'm too tired right now. That would have been
Uh,
so bad. That would have been so bad.
TY saved our freaking lives. All right. I'm
Well,
gonna watch the episode. Cat's
I'm
gonna
gonna
go to
go to
sleep.
sleep. All right. Thank you for having me. Thank you everybody for hanging out. Enjoy. I'm excited to debrief on
On
Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah. All right, Cat. See
May
ya.
the
Talk to
force
you
be with
later.
you all.
All right, everybody. It's just me, and then there's one. I am going to pull up the timer as per usual. Sorry we didn't get to the Jedi Survivor gameplay reveal, but for those of you who are unaware, they released like 9 minutes of Star Wars Jedi Survival or Survivor, and it looks pretty good. So check that out on your own. We meant to get to it, we just got sidetracked. So let me pull up the timer so that you guys can sync yourselves up with me. Stopwatch. Start. Okay, I don't want to start it yet. All right, now I share screen like so. And I zoom in so that you can see it. All right. And now I get ready to watch the Bad Batch. All right. And I'm starting now. Oh, my thing froze. I feel like this did this last time. My connection froze. Reset. We're resetting. We're resetting. Apologies. Oh my God, Disney Plus. Okay, here we go. Enjoy the episode, everybody. Only problem I had with Jedi Survivor was the walking and running animation was weird last game too. Little bit. Oh my God, this is good. I paused. Sorry, Nicholas. We're good now. We're good now. The Bad Bitch. The Clone Conspiracy. Coruscant, baby! It looks so good. It's the Clone Bar. Well, this guy's dead. Crosshair, everybody. I'm assuming. Yep. Man, I love Coruscant. There's nothing like it. Is that Cross? That's gotta be Crosshair. Oh, we're totally seeing Palpatine, aren't we? She's from Rogue One, right? This is what I wanted to see in Andor. It's one of my little complaints. I wanted to see some Senate debate. This is a great scene. This is what I wanted from the show more often. Big picture stuff. That was good. Notice how the Bad Batch has nothing to do with this. This is what the show should have been. It shouldn't have been about the Bad Batch. It should have been about just the Empire, the Republic becoming the Empire. That's what it should have been about. The aftermath of that. I don't know that this is gonna end well for her. This dude should shave his beard if he wants to blend in. Everything was not fine. I really like the Senate building. You just gotta shave, my dude. Shave that beard. I'm sure this is Rex that he's talking to. When the Bad Batch are gonna get him out. That hasn't happened yet, Mr. Fett, but I love that meme. Never gets old. She should not have asked him those things. It doesn't benefit her in any way. It only makes him suspicious of her. Bail. I can't believe they didn't use R2D2. It's definitely one of the better ones of the season. That's not Crosshair. I kind of hope that's a new character and it's not anybody we know. I'm always down for a new badass bounty hunter. It's Rex. Well, it was not Crosshair. Thank God. Unlimited. Oh, Jesus. He had electric cyanide in his mouth. All right, that's the first episode. We're moving on to the next one. The Bad Batch were not in that at all. No one in the Bad Batch was in that at all. But it seems that this next one has Omega in it, at least because I see her in the thumbnail. All right. Starting the episode number 2. Looks like it's a little bit longer. Truth and Consequences. I know, right? It feels like they just been treading water for 6 episodes. Like, besides The Bad Batch not being in it, that could have been the premiere. Captain Ricks. Thank you, Wrecker. That's what I've been saying for, like, 5 weeks. Love Coruscant. I can't say it enough. I'm watching the second one right now, TY. The Clone Conspiracy. Oh, Rex is not wearing his armor. I just skipped the second one. Echo Man taking lead. Yeah, he needs to talk more. I don't know. I hope that it doesn't involve any of them. I don't think they're gonna succeed. Mega's probably going Jedi, probably. Well, she said she couldn't meditate like Gungi could, so maybe not. Oh god. Well, you didn't see Omega. Has he even met Omega? I feel like they were in the same room a couple times. Also, where Palpatine and Yoda fought. It would be crazy if they actually expose it, but then Palpatine shows up to the Senate and just uses his silver tongue to make all the senators think, oh well, it's fine that Camino got destroyed. They were traitors or something. That's my bold prediction. Follow the money. You die. Camino. Yeah, this feels like a Clone Wars arc. This doesn't feel like the Bad Batch. This feels like it just feels like the Clone Wars season 8, and that's what I wanted from the show. I wanted it to continue with the Clone Wars style, just post Revenge of the Sith. Rika. Yeah, Rex still isn't wearing his armor. I'm pretty sure she's not new. She's in the Clone Wars. She's in yeah, she's definitely in the Clone Wars. Yeah, it was her and Ahsoka. I think Padme too. Um, there was like an assassination attempt or a kidnapping. She got kidnapped by some bounty hunters, I think. They never do. Well, that's they killed some guys there. They pulled it off, eh? A bright and early Senate vote. Issues. Why wouldn't you delete that just immediately? Man, Rampart screwed up. Did I freaking call this or what, guys? Ian McDermott. Bravo, Palps. Yeah, the music was great. Please don't send us back to Sid. Please. I'm begging you. Oh god, don't I don't like this. This is bad news, Bears. This is bad news, Bears, guys. This just means that there's no more pressure to stop doing the side missions. Oh, great, you boys are back. I got a job for you. I need you to go collect these rare seeds so I can plant them and out of the petals are gold and we can profit. Every week we can just profit off of these petals. We can send them to the markets and just get tons of credits. It's gonna be great, guys. Echo, I know you barely said 5 words to me, but I'm going to miss you. Echo finally got tired of the show, The Bad Batch, and he's like, we need to do something that actually matters. Can we just follow Rex and Echo now? Bum, 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 bum. All right. That was the episode. Episodes plural. Um so yeah. We'll let people trickle back in here if anyone's still awake at this godforsaken hour. Um that's good. Those are good. Those are probably my favorite 2 episodes this season, which isn't saying much, but um So this is telling that the Bad Batch will officially join Rex eventually. I hope so, man. I don't like that they're just gonna go back to Sid, and we'll probably get like 4 more side missions. I wouldn't be surprised if every single episode until the finale is side missions. I would not be surprised in the slightest. I'd honestly rather watch a spin-off with Rex and Echo than another season of the Bad Batch. I know, and I'm telling you, that's what we're gonna get. We're gonna go back to doing missions for Sid until it's time for the finale to tie it all together. I was surprised we didn't see Crosshair at all. I thought that was a guarantee. But it was amazing seeing Palpatine use his wit and his smarts to achieve what he wanted to from the very beginning. He used our heroes to get what he wanted, very Palpatine-esque. Um, I liked the music. I liked I said this during the episode, but it felt like it was a Clone Wars arc. It felt like a Clone Wars-esque style show. It reminded me a lot of the Fives episode, though not quite as tragic, where we see these characters fighting for what's right, and they get so close to accomplishing something good and getting meaningful change uh, enacted in the Senate, only to be pulled back at the last second by Palpatine's machinations. So that was really good. I enjoyed that. Um, I really like Tucci, Senator Tucci. I liked her in the Clone Wars. I'm glad that they brought her back. Um, you've got to think that she just set herself up to be heavily surveyed by Palpatine's lackeys going forward. I don't know what's going to happen to Rampart. Will we ever see him again? Is he just going to go to prison? Does this give him a new outlook on the Empire? Is he no longer in favor of it? Like, does this change his mind because they screwed him? Um, so I could see him turning into kind of like a Agent Callus kind of character. I think this episode just said all the Bad Batch we have seen this season has been a sideshow, and to see them go so deep like that makes me think they're playing with us. Right? It's frustrating, Nicholas, because it's like they're aware that they've been wasting our time, and it's like they're using that as a device to make the characters impatient, but that's a horrible, horrible way to go about it, because you're boring your audience and you're frustrating your audience just so that you can make a point that, like, oh, they're sick and tired. The Bad Batch is sick and tired of doing all these side jobs. You could just, not have them do the side jobs. It doesn't play any role in the story at all whatsoever. It's complete filler. Now that's what's up, A21. Now that's what I call a 2-episode arc. At first, I thought the clone assassin was going to be the clone trooper Slick, who betrayed the clones way back in season 1 on Christophsis. Yeah. Maybe it is. I mean, we don't know. It seems like his thing was scrubbed. His identification number was scrubbed, so they have no idea who he is. But that'd be interesting. That's a good theory. I think someone else was saying that back when it happened, but I didn't make the connection. But that armor was cool. I thought that I didn't think it was going to be a clone, actually. I thought it was going to be a new bounty hunter or something, but that was not correct. But I was totally right about Palpatine spinning it in his favor and having it pass anyway in the Senate. And it's always good to hear Ian McDiarmid back again voicing Palpatine. It's always a treat. So that's it. I mean, we basically, if I'm not mistaken, have seen everything from the trailers. There's still a lot of unanswered questions that we have, like, where is Cody? Is he in contact with Rex? Rex did not mention Cody. It feels like he would have if he had been in contact with him, right? Because the Bad Batch all know Cody. Some other thoughts that I have is that I'm a little concerned about the rest of the Bad Batch, sans Echo going back and just going back to their old lives of probably doing jobs for Sid. I was hoping that these 2 episodes would provide us with a more meaningful direction for the whole Bad Batch, but it seems like it just took Echo away because Echo wants to do something meaningful and the rest of the Bad Batch don't. So I'm concerned that it still feels like we're just floating along without a rudder in the ocean. And I think it's just going to return back to regularly scheduled programming with Sid, which is frustrating. I remembered that Echo wasn't with Rex during Rebels, meaning he's probably going to die. Oh, yeah, for sure. He's probably going to die. You're absolutely right there. I think seeing Palps was awesome. because they kept him suspenseful and we could see all their fear in the Senate when he arrived. Not like they're trying to play him out just like Vader. Yeah, it was a cool moment seeing him slowly rise up the on the platform. Very cool, very intimidating, and it's fear and it's respect. They clearly respect him. I mean, he's considered like a hero. He's like their Abe Lincoln. Like they love this man because he guided them through this horrific war, and they won. And he survived an assassination attempt by the Jedi. Like I don't even know if they fear him, the senators. I think they just might admire him. And it's only the select few senators that see through it all, like Bail Organa, like Tucci, who don't respect him. Palpatine always gets what he wants, even if he has to twist it into his favor. Yeah, he's a genius. He's an absolute genius, and it just takes one farm boy and his friends to bring him down eventually in 20 years. But yeah, it was a brilliant play by Palpatine. I enjoyed that. That was one of my favorite parts. Echo is my favorite clone, so if they kill him, they better do something with his character beforehand and not sideline him. Yeah, Mr. Fett, you're right. All they've done is sideline him. I don't think I think I can count on my fingers the amount of words he said in like season 1. They've been doing a bit more with him in this season, which is good, and I hope that we see him soon. I'm really afraid that they're not going to show him again until next season or this season's finale, because he's honestly the only one who's right. He's the only one who sees that they need to keep fighting for what's right, and instead of going back to Sid and going to pick up this doodad for credits so that you can pay off your debt that I manipulated you into acquiring. Like, fuck Sid, man. I'm so sick and tired of her. If this show was like this every week, where it was dealing with large picture things, and it doesn't even always have to be large picture, but just showing meaningful events that are happening throughout the galaxy rather than like going to the races and watching a freaking pod race, um, or going and rescuing a child Rancor, or I don't even know. Like, it's just the show could be so much more, and they occasionally show us that with episodes like this, and it kills me because I would even say I'd incorporate last week's episode. If last week's episode was the quality of filler episodes that we got all the time, that would be amazing. You had episodes that were that good for filler episodes, and then you had episodes like this that carried the primary story along. That'd be great. And it's just frustrating when the show can give you these flashes of greatness, but then next week, I know it's going to return back to just go fetch this doodad for me. Let's actually look up at what the next episode's called, so we can try to glean some information about it. Bad Batch season 2 episode list. Pull up the image, pull up this, pull up that, scroll down. All right, I'm going to share my screen with you folks. And then we can look at this. Share. Okay, so it looks like next week is called The Crossing. I don't know, that could be something, but I'm assuming that all, like, The Crossing, Retrieval, Metamorphosis, The Outpost, Pabu, Tipping Point, I'm assuming these are all gonna be filler, or at least like 90% of them. And then these two, if you can see it, these two will probably be imperative. I mean, obviously it's the finale, but I just get a bad feeling about these because all of these were pretty, except for the Solitary Clone, these 3 were filler. I'm hoping that at least 2 or 3 of these are not filler, but I feel like that's far-fetched. We're getting another episode next week, right? Or was this a 2-parter then a break? We are getting an episode next week. February 15th, The Crossing, day after Valentine's Day. Sid is just the worst. I hope she dies. Well, then you fit in perfectly around these parts, Mr. Fett. I have been beating the drum for Sid's death for weeks now. Really since the season started. I've been leading the charge. If you are not already in our Discord, you should join our Discord. I've gotten hashtag kill Sid trending there a few times in our Discord. I like how they referenced the other Kaminoans also. Yeah, it was a good episode, right? Because it painted a bigger picture of the galaxy, like what's going on politically, what's going on socially, what's going on with an entire race of people who have been completely wiped out. And we only saw Topoka City get bombarded. We didn't know that all the other cities got bombarded too. Like they straight up committed genocide to cover up uh, this thing that they needed to cover up, and it's crazy. And I like that so much more than watching Sid take the gang to the races. The retrieval, Sid, come rescue me. Sid. Yeah, we're for sure seeing Sid next week. I hate to tell you guys, but there's no avoiding it. It's inevitable. But it's been over 2 hours. I'm tired. I'm gonna go to sleep now. But real quick, what would you guys give these 2 out of 10? Just throw a combined score, or if you want to split it up into individual scores, go ahead and throw those in the chat. For me, I'd give the first episode like a 9, and I give the second episode like an 8. Just because I feel like a lot of it was action that I just didn't really care about. But that Palpatine scene was amazing though. So I'd give them a 9 and an 8, and cumulatively I'd give it like an 8.5. I don't even hope Sid gets a meaningful full death. I just want a random person gun her down in a bar, and then the batch just never talk about it. I want you remember how Akbar got killed in The Last Jedi? How it was really like in the background, and they didn't make any. There's no fanfare about it, and it was really disrespectful to an iconic character. I want Sid to have that death where she just dies in the background and they never talk about it again. So I agree with you. Thanks. I have a good night, and I give it a 9.5 because it's something we finally got that was awesome. I can totally agree with that. It's relieving to have gotten these episodes. 9 out of 10 without a doubt for both. The animation and seeing the Senate was awesome to see again. The Senate was awesome to see again. Coruscant looked fantastic. I haven't talked about that yet, but I loved going back to Coruscant. It's one of my favorite planets. I absolutely jump at any opportunity to go visit Coruscant again. And it looks great in animation, didn't it? And some of the shots of the Senate building, like if you just glance, it looks like you're seeing it in the prequels or something. Like it looks really good. But by the way, might not be here next week because I'll be traveling, but we'll see. Yeah, if you aren't, no sweat, man. I appreciate you always loyally tuning in. I really do appreciate it. But that's it for me, folks. Thank you so much for joining me on this week's episode of The Bad Batch. We will be live again in 2 days. I think I heard something about Kat maybe going live tomorrow, so watch her stream if that's indeed the case. But otherwise, I will see you guys on Thursday night. Until then, have a good one, folks. Take care.